Alright, everybody, what is going on? Welcome to the first episode of Say What? Alright, so I decided to start this pretty well first let me give you an introduction. What's up? X. This channel is pretty much going to be about keeping it real, the truth, real life experiences, stuff that we all go through. I actually about a week ago now had a pretty heated topic. Sorry, excuse me for all the itching, but it's getting pretty late, but it's hot earlier, so all the bugs and mosquitoes are out now. Had a pretty heated debate about a post I made. I made a post and it was about Bill Cosby, and I said I didn't believe he did it. Now, with that being said, reason why I said that, because I chose not to judge him just based off of the mistakes that he has made in his life, because he has been very impactful. I don't know about anybody else, but growing up with, a single mom and everything, there wasn't that many male influences, and we did get our male influences from like the Family Matters and Bill Cosby and other shows and things of that nature. And just even the actors and actresses that he hired, like, their careers took off, and people have been touched by scholarships, and so many kids have been exposed from TV shows and things of that nature. I just didn't want to taint my childhood image, but that's what I believe. Now, pardon me if I keep looking over to my right. I got my little notes here. Sometimes I tend to, veer off topic a little bit, so, gotta have my little foundation ready. With that, the main topic of this episode is going to be about opinions. Opinions, everybody has one. If it doesn't matter whether you do something good, bad, mediocre, horrible, somebody's always going to have something to say, no matter what it is. If you got a C on a test and you're used to getting D's, like, you're going to be excited, but somebody be like, okay, yeah, you did good, but next time, let's try to go for that B, which by all means is, positive. But, like I said, somebody's always going to say something. You could be a straight A student and always get an A and then get a B, and somebody be like, oh, well, stop crying because, you always get A's. Like, somebody's always going to have something to say. But what we should understand is that with opinions, it promotes diversity in thoughts. If everybody thought the same, if everybody acted the same and believed the same, we wouldn't really have any growth. Like, how would you be able to look at something in a different way, or perceive something in a different way, or even be able to even have the option of looking at something in a different light? And I just been noticing little things in society and just on Facebook, because I really don't say too much on Facebook. I've got out my shell quite a bit, and I started noticing that we tend to, if somebody doesn't believe something that we have to say, we tend to jump on their backs or jump down their throats and be like, oh, well, you don't have all the information, or this or that. And maybe they do, maybe they don't, but opinions do promote diversity in thought. Another thing is that they challenge the mindset and our beliefs that we already have. You could believe that mosquitoes are the worst things ever, and somebody else will be like, oh, well, no, they help I'm not quite sure what they help do, honestly, besides make you itch everywhere. But it does. It can challenge us to have a different mindset or a different perspective on things. We would never, even consider like, oh, well, maybe mosquitoes do have a purpose. You don't think about it. Most people are just annoyed by them. But with an opinion, you're able to challenge yourself to even be open. We tend to say that I'm an open-minded person. We tend to do that. But then when we are faced with something that could challenge us to even look at, by all means, I'm not saying, you have to agree with them or you have to, radically change your life and, oh, well, yeah, no, it's just a different perspective on things. They also promote engagement and conversation. If everybody's talking about the same thing and it's like the same thing that you talked about last week, or you guys always talking about, like we have this music park here called Cedar Point. Like, oh, yeah, Cedar Point is the best music park in the world. I believed that clear up until I went to Florida and went to Universal Studios. Mind blown. I'm like, ooh. But I grew up loving Cedar Point. Like, I feel bad. I kind of feel like a traitor, but I'm not. It's just the world is bigger than what we tend to think it is. The world is more diverse than what we, tend to think it is in our little box with our familiarities, with our circles that we do keep. Also with that, like I said, it does enlighten different perspectives. If somebody believed that trucks, SUVs are the best, but a lot of people don't like SUVs. Some people are like, well, they tend to haul gas and everything. Well, I like cars better. Right? Opinions just opens our mind. It gives us the options to have other options versus just being stuck with just one thing. It gives us variety. It's like shopping for clothes. Yeah, that's the perfect analogy. Opinions are like shopping for clothes. Like, there's skinny jeans, there's low rise, there's the ones that look like the bell bottoms, the bootleg jeans, there's a straight leg jeans, there's baggy jeans, there's the jeans that got all the straps around and that wrap around, and hooks and belts and loops and whistles and colors and designs, and although you may like, although we may like a particular certain style of brand, someone else might not prefer that. They might prefer we might like the regular standard straight leg jeans. Somebody else might like skinny jeans. Somebody else might like the jeans that got all the whistles and loops and things of whatnots on them. But it does allow variety. So having variety is not a bad thing. We should look more into the positive light of what variety and options can give us. As well as that, I did notice that when I did say that, I did say, I went the dramatic route. You know how everybody, if you say something, people are probably, that we know that when we put something on Facebook, that a lot of people could comment and give us, excuse my French, shit about it. So with that being said, having a difference of opinion also can make or break friendships. I went the dramatic route and put, delete me if you want, but by all means. And I meant it. Because how I look at it, which is how, how I looked at it from my own personal experience, is that if all it took was me to have one opinion that was contrary to yours for you to delete me, were we really friends? anyway. I have a friend, my best friend, voted for Trump. I didn't. But that doesn't make her any less of a sweet, kind, caring, generous, loving human being. Still my best friend. We just agree to disagree. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's free will. That's the beauty of free will. We get to, we get to do what we want. But we should also keep in mind that, we should allow others to express what it is that they want or believe or think or say or feel, or we shouldn't just be so close-minded, like, oh, well, we're friends and we're close, so, I thought, you were on my side and believed what I believed, and that feels a little selfish. I mean, because, we shouldn't push our own beliefs or opinions on someone else. It revealed a lot of true colors and intentions, and I realized a lot of people had certain expectations upon me. Now, here's the thing that I've learned over the past few months when it comes to expectations. When we have expectations for another person, they're bound to fail. They're bound to fail because we're not perfect. We're imperfect. Now, if you were to break down the word imperfect, I am perfect. I am perfect within myself. I am perfectly unique. I'm different. You're different. We're all different. We're all imperfect. We're not going to be able to do the right thing all the time. We're not going to be able to keep a positive mindset all the time. We're not going to not fall victim to judging or not judging. We're imperfect. I'll wait a little bit. Apparently somebody. Hope they're okay. It's the ambulance. Yes, where were the expectations? If we put expectations on people, we put people up on a pedestal. That means they're already up there. So the first time something happens and somebody can let us down, we tend to only focus solely on that and not all the good things. Like, yeah, but I thought this person was this or like that or like this and this, and now they fell short because of this mistake or that mistake, or they had a difference in this or a difference in that. That's what makes us who we are. We're different. There's nothing wrong with being different. Being different has became a plague in society, if you will. Like, differences have to be put in boxes and categories and different sections because now we have to define it and know and know what it is and put this label on it and this and that on it and this title and that title. Why? Why can't we just accept that we're all different and that's okay? Also with that post, some of the comments were, well, you don't care that happened to me. So you're saying you don't believe this person or all these women, and by all means, I'm not saying that by a long shot. I've been assaulted as well. You wouldn't know that unless I told you. And people brought up, well, so you just don't care that triggered me. Here's the thing with that. Triggers are basically unhealed wounds. Things that happened to us in our past that we haven't searched deep down ourselves to heal within ourselves. That, somebody else may have caused or something that we may have caused. Triggers are nothing more than us mentally and emotionally, and maybe even sometimes physically, reliving that pain, reliving that trauma, reliving that hurt constantly over and over and over again. Now, don't get me wrong, forgiveness is a hard thing to do, especially in like a situation like that. But when we tend to be like, oh, you should forgive. Well, I don't want to forgive that person because they don't deserve forgiveness. No, they probably might not. That's your opinion. That's up to you and how you feel about the situation. But you're forgiving not for them. You're forgiving for yourself so that you can move on from things. Because whether you forgive that person or not, that person chooses not to right their wrongs. And do you think they're out here reliving what they did to you over and over again? If anything, if they haven't changed their ways, they're proud of it. While you're over here still hurt, still reliving it, still going through that pain and trauma. You're doing it essentially, we should do it for ourselves, not for them, not for anybody else. Because, like for me, for example, I've had people come and go all my life. I've had people cheat. I had people lie, steal, you name it. Physical, emotional, mental abuse, like you name it. It's happened. And every time I saw them, I would get mad or upset, and I would actually notice that they're not even paying me any mind. They're over there with their boo or their friends or their job or doing whatever it is that they're doing, and they're not bothered. I am. Why am I allowing something that they did back in the past that obviously they don't even care about to continuously happen to me? Because every time I got mad, I would go back to that place of pain and hurt and sorrow and regret and fear, and I felt like I needed to let it go, release, because in all reality, I'm hurting myself when that person can honestly care less. Triggers are real. Triggers are real. They are really real. But also at the same time, because if somebody else do have a belief, like I believe Bill Cosby didn't do it. Because my friends were like, oh, so you just don't care that just triggered me. It's not that I don't care. I'm an empath. Trust me. I care. I can sympathize with you as well. I can give you the love and care and support to help you through your traumatic experience and whatever and everything else. But what we should not do is allow someone else to be emotionally responsible for how we feel. There are emotions. Nobody else can... Okay, I'm gonna stand up because these mosquitoes will tear me up. Nobody else can be held responsible for how we feel or what we think but ourselves. We're the only ones. So if something does trigger you because somebody else says something or you see something in a movie, or we shouldn't go and protest against those actors or directors or those music artists or the person behind the screen that made a post, because we're essentially responsible for how we feel. And put it on someone else and be like, oh, well, no, you made me relive this and you made me feel this way because of your post or because of that movie you made or whatever the case may be. We as individuals put up with enough of our own. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way, that I'm not responsible for how you feel. I'm not responsible. We all have free will. We all have free will. Now, by all means, if you want to, we can choose to, oh, well, no, I still feel like that's wrong. And, I still feel that way. We have free will. You have the free will to feel however you want to feel. You also have the free will to change and forgive and heal yourself. I'm not saying it's easy. By all means, it's not easy. It took me 15 years to get over what I went through. But also at the same time, I didn't do it for anybody else but for me. I wanted to grow. I wanted to feel better. I got tired of every time that I saw that person, or every time I heard a song that reminded me of them, or seen them out in public, or somebody mentions them, or bring them up, or watch a movie, or anything, that I can't enjoy my life, essentially, because I'm allowing past hurt and pain to hold me back. I have more love for myself than that. And I'm not saying that, you don't have love for yourself if you're choosing not, because some things that some people go through is just that damn hard, where it takes years, decades to get over and get to that point. Like I said, 15 years. It's hard. It's a lot. Some of our biggest growth come from some of the hardest things we have to do. In this society, life is not easy. Life is very hard. It's very difficult. It's very challenging. It can be, but it also can be better. It can be happy. It can be more positive. It's really what we choose to believe and go with. It's like, yeah, that person did what they did to me, but if they didn't, I wouldn't have met the people that I met from the support group, or knew that going to a therapist would be so refreshing, and I don't have to go there just for trauma. I could just go and have a friend to talk to about. Somebody could have cut me off while driving on the highway. Hey, look, this pissed me off. I need to vent about this. Man, girl, let me tell you what happened at work. If it wasn't for our experiences, if it wasn't for things like that, we wouldn't be where we are right now. And although I wish, most of the negative things that did happen to me didn't happen to me, but also at the same time, I'm so grateful. Because if they didn't, I wouldn't be here. I would not. I wouldn't be able to reach out and talk to you guys about this. I wouldn't be able to help someone that might have been in the same situation that I was in right now just by posting a video. But it just... Because I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say honestly, I really didn't notice if too many people unfriended me. My bad, but honestly, sorry, not sorry. So apparently we probably weren't that close of friends. Which is okay. I don't mind having acquaintances. We gotta build up to that. Who don't have trust issues nowadays. But it is hard to trust people and things of that nature, because we do put expectations on people. We do, and trust issues do also come from, from people falling from those expectations, because people aren't perfect. We're not. We're people. We're human. We're human. We're perfectly imperfect. There was a couple people that I did notice, and I was like, oh, wow. It got me. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready. Pineapples. But also at the same time, I thank you, because now I got to see your true colors. Now I got to realize what type of situationship we did have, friendship we did have, acquaintanceship we did have. I've come to a point in my life where I don't feel bad if people remove themselves or I remove myself, because by all means it might be something negative that we should remove ourselves from, but also at the same time, not all the time is it negative. Sometimes it's just like, okay, well, you know what, you're not where I am right now, or this person isn't where you are right now, or it's not saying, oh, bye forever. I got a best friend that I haven't really hung out with in about almost 3 years, and we've known each other since kindergarten, but it doesn't mean that I'm just, I'm not a friend or anything. No, because we actually have that type of relationship where we could go years without speaking and see each other, and it's like we just got done kicking it yesterday. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful, and I love people that are like that. That's the type of person that I am. But I also, which, mind you, I'm not trying, make this all about me, but I also know that I can only talk through my own personal experiences. I like diversity. I like people that challenges me and everything. I've been friends with people who, believe it or not, didn't really like African Americans. They thought we were ghetto, loud, they had their own opinions, we couldn't talk, all this other stuff, slang and everything. And I was one of those acceptable ones, But I actually had this guy and was actually cool with him at work. And a few years later, he messaged me and was like, meeting you truly changed my life. Like, I really had this negative, thought process of black people, and meeting you, you were actually cool. Like, and he was surprised. And I'm just like, okay. People are cool. It really don't matter what color skin we are, People are awesome. Believe it or not, he ended up marrying an African American woman. Like, so, hey, go ahead, man. Like the chocolate, But it was just amazing that, he actually, because how he was raised, how he was taught, how it was passed down in his generations, it wasn't something that he wasn't even really completely comfortable with. At first he was like, oh, no, completely 100%. Until he met me, and I was like, well, you guys said all of them are like this, and well, this person isn't. Well, are you guys even right? Like, he challenged himself, and I'm pretty sure, it took, I'm pretty sure that his family did not appreciate him challenging that at first. I actually know, but, I don't want to put the man's business out there like that. His family members did eventually come around. A few of them did. A few of them did. The older generations, also, though, takes a little bit of time, It's hard, not trying to call anybody old by all means, but it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. You just get set. We just tend to get set in our ways and get comfortable and used to, and that's a comfort zone. We as people, we love being comfortable. We'd rather be comfortable than uncomfortable. I mean, who wants to be uncomfortable? Nobody, So it does take a lot to challenge ourselves and think outside of perspective and step outside of our comfort zone and take a leap of faith and think something new and try something new and maybe even accept that, okay, I believe he didn't do it. If I wanted to believe unicorns fly, honestly, I don't see what was anything wrong. If I want to believe unicorns fly, if I'm not mentally, if we as people are not mentally, emotionally, physically hurting somebody else, what does it matter if we believe unicorns fly or pigs can fly or that the sky is purple? Okay, well, it's a little purple right now, but you know what I'm talking about. It's not hurting anybody else. Not delusional, like I'm not sitting up here, jumping off of buildings or anything. No, that would be physically hurting myself. But what really, really got to me with that post was that not one person asked me, hey, why do you feel the way you feel? Why? I got all types of assumptions thrown at me, like, oh, well, you believe that, it takes too long for women so because they took so long that I'm like, I didn't say any of that. I didn't. And that's how, we do tend to create our own chaos, create our own drama by just assuming. Which, I mean, it is it is natural to just assume. It really is. But it's even harder to actually ask. It's easy to assume. You don't have to ask that person. You don't have to, confront them of anything. But assumptions can also be damaging. So with that being said, we're going to cut this short. So next time, somebody does have an opinion or an idea or a thought process that's might be a little out there, a little out the box, a little off, we should try just asking. Saying, hey, why do you believe the way that you believe? Why do you think the way that, you thought? Why? Why? Because everybody is entitled. We all are entitled to feel how we feel. We all are entitled to have our emotions be validated and not shut down or criticized. Do unto others as you would do unto yourself. Would you want somebody else to just shut you down because of how you feel? To just play target practice with you because of a difference in opinion? No, we wouldn't. Because it sucks. It hurts. I'm pretty sure if you're watching YouTube where you're old enough to have had similar experiences. So let's just challenge ourselves, guys. Let's just challenge ourselves to be a little bit more open, to be a little bit more caring, to be a little bit more accepting. It's all about unconditional love, baby. All about the unconditional love. If you have unconditional love, it doesn't matter that somebody thinks something different or believes something different, because we really believe that we're all entitled and we're all equal to it. All right, catch y'all next time on Say What? Deuces.